6 jobs that will pay you at least $1 million a year. Hey everyone, my name is Hisham Khan and welcome to Income Over Outcome, where I help you understand money and set you up for a successful career. $1 million a year is $83,000 a month. The top 1% of American earners make $470,000 a year. So if you make $1 million, you'll be in the top 0.1%. And it's not impossible to get there. If you grind hard enough to get one of these jobs, you'll be earning well over $1 million. And I'm not going to talk about the obvious things, like athletes, entertainers, and CEOs. So before we get into it, comment what jobs you think will be on this list. Coming in at number 6, we have partners at consulting firms. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, like the ones on the highest paying jobs out of college, then you should be a little bit familiar with what consulting is. Consultants are experts in business, so they're hired by companies to help them solve problems. If a company is struggling to make money, or they don't know if they should release a certain product, then they might hire a consultant who's going to look into all of their data and do all these analyses to figure out what the right approach should be. But top consulting firms are really expensive, so only big companies can afford them. Almost every single Fortune 500 company and even governments around the world have hired consultants to solve their problems, the most recent being how to deal with a global pandemic. Now, I myself am a consultant and I can tell you that the job is really glorified. We get paid to travel and meet clients, but we also work insane hours. Consultants also tend to make a lot of money because our firms know how to make a ton of money using minimal resources and time. A firm might have a team of just a few analysts who are fresh out of college, 2 associates, a manager and a director, so like 7 or 8 people who are paid millions of dollars just for a few months of work. Multiply that by hundreds of projects and you can see how consulting firms make billions of dollars. Now, consulting firms have a pretty rigid hierarchy, and as you become more experienced and specialize into one area, your earning potential can go through the roof. For most people, becoming a partner at a consulting firm means you've made it. It means you're the best of the best. Most partners join consulting as soon as they graduated college and have over a decade of experience. If you want to become a partner, you have to absolutely grind, working anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week and constantly building relationships with your clients. Partners are responsible for landing new clients and making deals, and their salaries are typically anywhere from $500,000 to $650,000. But the real money in becoming a partner comes from the fact that you get a piece of the firm's profits every single year, and to do that, you have to buy into the company. It's basically like buying a stock in a company that's super exclusive. The buy-ins are different for each consulting firm and they can vary from year to year, but on the lower end, they tend to be a few $100,000 and they can even be up to $1 million. A lot of people have to take a loan from their company just to get promoted to partner. But that $1 million buy-in is well worth it because top consulting firms make over $1 billion, and since you're getting a piece of that, your bonus can be upwards of $4 million. It's impossible to know exactly what the average partner makes because firms make sure that's kept secret, but if I had to guess, I would say it's around $2.5 million on the lower end. If you're hoping to make $1 million one day, then hit that like button for good luck and make sure you have that notification bell on so you don't miss any of the useful information in my videos. In 5th place are law partners. This is the dream job for a lot of people who join big law firms. Now, the concept here is similar to consulting partners, but obviously the job is way different. Law firms are also set up in a very structured manner. Typically, when you first join fresh out of law school, you come in as a junior associate. After about 2 years, you can get promoted to a mid-level associate, and after another 2 to 3 years, you could become a senior associate. Now, senior associates at top law firms make a boatload of cash, averaging around $300,000. But after senior associates, there's actually 3 other main positions: junior partners, senior partners, and managing partners. And that's where the big money comes in. Most law firms have just one managing partner for each office. They're basically like a CEO, so I'm not going to talk about them. For now, let's focus on junior and senior partners. Typically, it takes around 8 to 9 years after law school to reach the junior partner level, and then another 5 years to reach the senior partner level. Partners are responsible for handling multiple cases and managing teams of associates to work those cases. But as with consulting, the main thing partners do is bring in new clients. The more clients you bring in, the more money you'll earn. At some law firms, you have to become a non-equity partner first, which means you'll just get paid a salary. But eventually, you'll have to pay the firm a few $100,000 to buy in and get a chunk of the profits. And that's what would make up most of your paycheck. Law firms do a really good job at keeping the compensation of their partners a secret. But after digging around for a little bit, it looks like the average partner at a top law firm makes over $2 million. Holding the number 4 spot are managing directors at investment banks. Investment banking offers some of the highest salaries for students fresh out of college. college, and I talked all about how to get into investment banking in this video over here. So check it out if you're interested. Investment banks are mainly known for helping companies go public on the stock market, issuing corporate bonds, and even managing a company's assets. Banks take a small percentage of every single deal they make, and top investment banks do hundreds of billions of dollars worth of deals every single year. So a small percentage of that is a boatload of cash. Now, managing directors are directly responsible for bringing in more money to the bank by winning new deals. Most of their time is spent meeting with clients, so they're not really involved in the typical day-to-day finance stuff. On average, it takes 16 years to become an MD, and it's not easy at all. If you watch my video where I talk about investment banking, then you know people in the field work upwards of 80 hours a week, and it doesn't really slow down as you progress throughout your career. As an MD, you could still expect to work a lot. Now, the first step to becoming an MD is to get promoted to the vice president level, and good performance as a VP isn't nearly enough. In the business world, it's your connections that'll get you promoted. So you need a lot of allies at your bank vouching for you. The more people you know, the higher your chances of becoming an MD. Now remember, this is investment banking, so even if you do become an MD and you're close to the top of the food chain, you don't have time to relax, because MDs have really aggressive revenue quotas that they have to hit. A lot of people only last in the role for 1 or 2 years because it's just too difficult. And that's not to be negative, I just want to give you guys a true picture of what these jobs are like, because too many people overglorify them. You just have to figure out if the struggle is worth it, and for a lot of people, it is. Managing directors aren't partners with the bank, so they don't have to worry about putting up a bunch of money to buy in. Instead, they're paid a salary and a bonus, which is based on how much revenue they bring into the bank. So if you're an MD that absolutely kills it and brings in $1 billion, then you'll make a pretty penny. On average, the base salary for an MD at a top bank is around $400,000 to $600,000, but because a huge chunk of your pay comes from your performance, there's a really wide range. It's possible that you don't even hit $1 million, but at most big banks, if you make less than $1 million, it means you're doing pretty poorly and you probably won't keep your job for long. Average MDs earn $1 million in bonuses alone, and top performers can make upwards of $10 million. That's an absurd amount of money. To put that into perspective, that's 2 Lamborghini Aventadors, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a luxury Manhattan apartment, and a really nice house on the Hamptons, and you'll still have over $1 million left to spare. But I don't know, is dedicating your life to work and having almost no free time worth all that? Coming in third place are private equity partners. A lot of people actually pivot from investment banking and consulting into private equity because you can make a lot more money, which is absurd. Private equity is basically high-stakes investing. These firms collect billions of dollars from rich people and corporations and then use that money to buy and sell businesses. The ultimate goal is to profit off their investments. They might buy a company for $500 million and then build it up and raise the revenue, so a few years later they can sell it for $2 billion. To understand how private equity firms make so much money, you have to understand how they structure their deals. Most places follow the 2-and-20 rule, which means they charge a 2% management fee just for keeping your money, and then on top of that, they'll take 20% of the profits from any deal they make. So if we look at the example I just had, where they bought a company for $500 million and sold it for $2 billion, that means the deal made $1.5 billion. 20% of that is $300 million, and that would go straight to the PE firm. The rest of the money, $1.7 billion, would be split up amongst the investors. And on top of that, the firm makes 2% of all the money they manage. If we look at a top private equity firm like Blackstone, you'll see they manage $184 billion. 2% of that is $3.7 billion. So you add that with the hundreds of deals they make every year, and you can start seeing how they make so much money. A lot of people don't like private equity though, because they say the firms don't care about the companies they buy. All they want to do is milk them for as much money as possible. And there's definitely some firms that have a rep for buying companies, firing a bunch of their employees, and doing other things to reduce costs, because that's the quickest way to make a company more valuable. But there's others that properly invest in companies and help them grow organically. At the end of the day, each firm has a different approach. Now, getting into private equity in the first place is pretty tough. Some firms do hire people straight out of college, but you usually have to go to a top business school. Most people only get in once they've proven themselves in other high-paced business fields, like consulting and investment banking. Most PE firms also want you to have an MBA before they promote you, which is a huge difference from investment banking because a good portion of MDs in investment banking only have a bachelor's degree. Now, the way in which private equity partners are paid is a little bit different. You get a base salary and a bonus, which is in line with investment banking, but then you also get a carry and then you can choose co-investments. Your bonus is based on your performance and it can be a few $1,000,000 a year, but most of the money comes with a carry, which is the percentage of the profits you get to keep. But you're only paid it once a firm meets a certain threshold, and that could take years. Now the carry is definitely a lot of money, but I think the coolest part are the co-investments. That's when the partner has exclusive access to put their own money into deals. Like with any investment, they can lose money, but if they make the right decisions, they stand to make tens of millions of dollars. Private equity partners tend to have lower salaries than some of the other jobs on this list, usually around $300,000, but they get fat bonuses. Partners at small private equity firms average around $1.6 million in total pay, but when you look at the top firms, compensation is mind-boggling. Bonuses are upwards of $3 million, and the carry can be tens of millions of dollars split up over multiple years. There's no doubt that if you become a partner at a private equity firm, you'll have more money than you know what to do with. At number 2, we have venture capital partners. Think of venture capital as being private equity's cooler, younger sibling. While PE's main goal is to buy and sell all types of businesses, venture capitalists focus on buying up-and-coming businesses that have long-term potential, mainly tech startups. You'll find that a lot of people who have success in the tech world dream of becoming venture capitalists because you can make a crazy amount of money off startups without having to do any of the hard back-breaking work. Venture capital is still relatively new, so there's no straightforward path of getting into the industry with formal recruiting out of college or anything like that. The key is really to have a strong background in tech and investing and network with people who know venture capitalists. VCs have a similar fee structure to private equity where they charge a management fee and then take a percent of profits. But while most private equity firms take just 20% of profits, it's common for venture capitalists to take 25 or even 30% because venture capital is so much more high stakes. Now, as a partner at an established venture capital firm, you can earn a salary of around $1 million, but that's just a small piece of what most venture capitalists make. The majority of their salary comes from their bonus and carry. All in, successful VCs can make $10 to $20 million a year. And if they manage to find the next Instagram or Facebook, they stand to make billions. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have hedge fund portfolio managers. Hedge funds don't do any of the complicated stuff investment banks or private equity firms do. They simply invest their money in things like stocks. Hedge funds are notorious for creating billionaires. Right now, there's 25 hedge fund billionaires on the Forbes 400. But most of those billionaires are founders of their hedge funds. Portfolio managers, on the other hand, are their employees. They actively make investments for their clients and are paid based on their performance and how much money they manage. If a portfolio manager handles $100 million, then they might get 1% of that, which would be $1 million. And if they outperform other managers at the fund, then they could earn more and be given more money to manage. On average, they can earn anywhere from $6 to $12 million a year, with top performers earning way more. Let me know which one of these jobs blew your mind the most and if you would choose any of these career paths. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and click here to subscribe. You might enjoy one of these videos, so check them out. Until next time, peace.